Hello and welcome to the cryptocurrency channel. Today we're going to be looking at one of the most promising altcoins that's out there. And to be honest, it's my personal favorite altcoin. I think that this is one of those coins that right now not a lot of people are talking about it. Everyone's too focused in the other ones. And this one is going to be huge, huge. So it's called IOTA. That's the name. And we're going to cover, see, there's a lot of good things about it, but I'm going to cover the three main things, okay? So the first thing about IOTA is that it doesn't run on a blockchain like the other currencies. It runs on what it calls a tangle. So typically you have a blockchain which is just a straight line. Basically you have a block connected to another block, connected to another block, and so on. But IOTA, it runs on different base, and this is called the tangle. So the tangle is a bunch of different. If you look over here, it's like a little image. It's a bunch of different nodes, is what they call it, and they're connected together, but they're not necessarily one to one. It's like one node can be connected to many other. So this is the system that IOTA runs on, and it's much better than the blockchain when you think about it. When we go further into the details, so the next thing about IOTA is that it's it's scalable. So what that means is that the current issue with the Bitcoin and other cryptos that run on the blockchain is that once they get really heavy, once a lot of people start using them, they become very difficult to manage. Basically, you have so many transactions coming into one block, and if the block size is small, there's way too many, so you need many blocks and you need a lot of miners, so on and so forth. But when you have a tangle, you have all these nodes, all these people connected together, and the more people that are connected, the faster it is for a transaction to go through because there's more connections. So that's what the scalability is, and it gets better the more people use it. So there's an image here by Sabri Goldberg. He works with IOTA basically. Yeah, this is the image. So as you can see, as you get more and more transactions, it gets way more scalable. Its network capacity goes up, and other ones like Bitcoin and what's like other blockchain technologies, they go down. So it's sort of an opposite thing. And the last thing about IOTA, which is my personal favorite, and it's going to be a favorite to many people, is that there are no fees. So right now, Bitcoin, you have to pay about what, as of this video's time, you have to pay like $30 to send money. But IOTA, there are no fees. And the reason for this is very simple. And the first time I heard about it, I was just like, this makes so much sense. So let's say I'm over here and I want to send money to my friend who's over here, but I'm not directly connected to him. So if I want to send money to him, I have to go through someone else. I have to go through from here, to go through from here to get to him. So every time I go through another connection, I have to verify a transaction. So if you want to move on a line in the tangle, you have to verify a transaction. So if I was to send money to my friend, to send that money, I would have to verify two transactions. In the white paper, it says a minimum of two, I think, or just two. So what you do is you're the one who's verifying the transaction. So in Bitcoin and blockchains, you have miners, people who dedicate their time and their energy and their computers just to mine, just to verify. But in IOTA and the Tangle, if you want to send, if you want to do a transaction, you have to verify. So if you want to send something, you have to verify someone else's. And this basically is why there's no fees. Because if you want something to happen, you have to verify for someone else. So that's how it works. If you want to send money, you have to do some sort of mining basically. And I would put mining in quotations because it's not exactly mining, it's a little bit different. But this system or this method cancels the need for a fee because you do the work basically. You don't have to pay an extra amount. You have to just do a little bit more work, and that's about it. And this is, the more I read about IOTA, the more it just blows my mind. And I think it's one of those things where you should go and read the white paper for this. It's on the website. You can find it if you just look it up, IOTA white paper. Trust me, read through it. It is amazing, the little details and everything they have planned out. So the next thing I'm going to go into is IOTA and its partnership. So what it does is IOTA is aiming towards companies and providing them with solutions. Okay, so one more thing before we go any further, it's called IOTA because it focuses on Internet of Things. I mean, if you look at this tangle over here, it looks very similar to a network of computers or like devices connected, because it works to help with the Internet of Things basically. That's what its application is. You could connect your devices, have them do transactions in an Internet of Things manner. So IOTA has been partnering up with many different companies to provide them with solutions. And look, before we go any further, I'm going to show you a couple of IOTA applications that were given by Sabri Goldberg, and he, like I mentioned, he's currently working with IOTA. So just pause the video and read through it because they're just amazing. Like the more I think about this, it just gets me excited about the future because this is something that's unbelievably awesome. Just go through this, just read it. And the next one I'm about to show you is the one I'm going to focus on because something's happened recently with IOTA, and it's all right. So if you look at this, it basically says a car will be able to pay to the nearest charging station by itself, a self-driving car. So this is how it would work, okay? And now let's see what just happened recently. We had Bosch Venture betting on IOTA as the future of IoT. This is Bosch Venture. Sorry about my mispronunciation. So the other thing is, if we go over here, you see that this has nothing to do with IOTA, but just look into it. Bosch is currently leading in the race for autonomous vehicles, for self-driving cars. It's way ahead of everyone else, and it just invested in IOTA. And this is something that Goldberg has just published. Is he just posted this picture? So you see that companies understand IOTA and how they could use them for their own, to get profit and to work basically. It's one of those things where it's so new right now that people are trying to figure out solutions and they're coming up with these genius ideas. And people and companies, not just people, not just individuals, are betting on IOTA and they know that is the next big thing. It's IOTA has been partnering up with many different companies, and it just blows my mind. It's like I said, the more I look into it, the more I get amazed by it. It's beautiful actually. And there's something that was posted recently by David. So David here, I can't pronounce the second name. David is the founder of IOTA. He's the one who came up with the idea, and he posted this. And he's someone, if you go to their subreddit, you could join into their Slack chat, and he posts a lot on that. And he's a really nice guy, and he's one of those people who responds to comments. If people ask, if people have suggestions, he responds. He cares about what he's doing. So there's something he posted here. You could read through it. But what I want to bring your attention to over here is this line here. If we need to send someone to Korea, they do overnight. We do it overnight. And this happened last week and news to come. So something has happened. They are currently in touch with someone. Something is going on. They have an announcement. So this is going to drive up prices further. If you're looking to get into IOTA, if you're looking to get into any altcoin, I'm telling you to get into this. Usually I don't give advice straight up. I usually tell people to decide what they want, but I think this is one of those things where you cannot miss out on this because it is definitely gonna blow up soon. And you know what? I'm just gonna cut straight to the thing. I've told you about IOTA. I told you why I think it's great. Let's look at the price. Let's see what's happening on the price action. So IOTA it was pretty low before this month, before most of the announcements came up. Then it had a huge pump over here. As you can see, it went up in both Bitcoin and US dollar. It corrected itself and now it was moving downwards. And then this announcement happened with the Bosch, so it went back up. And now over here, it's forming a sort of wedge pattern over here. So it might break out of it, it might not. But I think that with this announcement that's coming up next week, it will definitely break out of this pattern and move upwards as more and more people find out about this. And if you look over here, you'd see the peak that it hit for the for the IOTA Bitcoin chart. It hasn't hit that peak again since. But if you look at the price versus US dollar, it broke past that peak over there. So this is a coin that I personally think is going to be worth a lot more as time goes on. And it's one of those things that I would suggest you go through the white paper. I would suggest you look up on it, read through all the details, try to understand it, because the more you do, the more you will fall in love with it. And I think it's one of those altcoins that you should add to your collection in your portfolio. And if you're looking for something that's not as heavy as Ethereum or Litecoin, but it's not too low either. I think IOTA is your safe bet, and it's one of those coins that you should definitely look into as soon as possible before it blows up. Because right now it's showing signs of just going way ahead, and if they keep up this sort of connection with companies and capitalists and investment companies, and if they keep with the announcements, because I know they're working really hard on it, they keep updating every time they do something new, and they're looking for people to help them. So, like I said, look into this coin because definitely is going to be big someday. And I think that this is one of them that you want to get into. And if you're looking for a dip, you could wait a bit longer. But with crypto, to be honest, you never know what's going to happen. So this is a coin that you want to get into. I think this is one of the big ones that's coming up soon. All right, see you guys.